Welcome back, guys, and today we're going to be going in depth on some brand new updates and news surrounding the next Offroad Outlaws update. Now, that's going to go over graphics, new vehicles, and a bunch of other things, so make sure you stick around for the rest of the video, and let's go ahead and dive right into it. Also, make sure to let me know down in those comments below what you're most excited about in the next Offroad Outlaws update. Now, first things first, let's talk about vehicles. Now, vehicle-wise, the upcoming truck that I'm going to show you guys is something that I definitely did not expect to see coming into Offroad Outlaws, but this is a Tundra. Now, granted, I don't know what they're going to call it in the game, but for all intents and purposes, that's a Tundra. Now, obviously, it's a solid axle truck, as you can see in the photo there, but at the end of the day, that is a truck that I never, ever expected would be coming to this game, and I can already see many different build ideas cropping up for really whatever application you want. Everything from overland rig, to trail rig, to race rig, Baja-style truck, pre-runner, anything you could think of to build with that truck. So once again, that is definitely going to become a very prevalent truck in my garage once this update releases. Now, if you're a fan of tow trucks in Offroad Outlaws, this next one is going to be a very exciting one for you. This is basically a Ford F650 with a tow body on the back. Now, I'm not completely sure what other add-ons and what other customization options we're going to have for this truck, and those are going to have to wait for a little bit closer to the update, and also once we obviously get our hands on the update and we can dive a little bit more in depth with that truck itself. But one of the things that's actually really impressive to me when you look at this picture here is that the whole truck is really shiny, and that is once again another part of that graphics overhaul, but even the chrome on the fuel tanks is like super shiny. Now, I'm not sure what I'm going to build out of that truck yet. I'm sure I'm going to have multiple different versions of it. Everything that I've covered so far, I'm definitely going to have multiple different variants of both of those trucks, both the Tundra and the large Ford. But again, at the end of the day, it's going to be a long process of going in and figuring out what works best for each truck. And let's go ahead and move on to the next vehicle. Now, recently, the photo of this Ford Ranger Raptor has been floating around the community a lot, and this is one that a lot of people are excited about, for good reason, of course. Now, in Offroad Outlaws, obviously, you're going to be able to set this thing up with probably just about whatever suspension you want. I'm not sure how restricted or unrestricted this thing is in terms of suspension switching and suspension customization. I would hope that with it being Offroad Outlaws, it's pretty wide open in terms of what you can actually do with it, but I know that there's probably going to be a lot of people building trail rigs out of these. I feel like it's definitely going to lend itself well to a trail rig style approach, because in theory it should be a, you know, like kind of on the smaller end of the pickup truck spectrum. Now, at the end of the day, I would also love to see what would happen if somebody threw a monster suspension underneath it. I think a monster suspension underneath that truck would be absolutely hilarious and very comical, kind of like the Send It Mega Truck that you guys are seeing on the screen right now in game. But really, that one is definitely going to become a big part of my garage. I'm not necessarily sure if I'm going to use it quite as much as I'm going to use the Tundra, but let me know once again in the comments down below if you plan on using that Ranger Raptor a lot, or if it's going to be something that you'll try maybe once or twice and then go back to your other trucks. But once again, leave all of those thoughts and opinions about each and every vehicle in the comments down below. Now, let's talk about graphics, because graphics are a very large part of the upcoming update. Now, the screenshot you're going to see on screen right now, or I should say the pair of screenshots, is going to actually show a side-by-side before and after of the graphics pre-update versus the graphics post-update. And one of the biggest changes that I see personally is the detail on the actual paint and the actual vehicle itself. But not only that, it just seems like the entire graphical look and graphical approach has been cleaned up quite a bit. Now, in terms of paint colors, it actually also looks like there's a big difference in color shade from the left screenshot to the right screenshot, and if those are technically the same shade of color, it really does mean that we're going to get a lot more depth to every single color once we move into the next update. So really, every paint color that you apply to your truck is going to look just about 10 times better. I mean, I don't know if you could actually like quantify it down to 10 times better exactly, but you guys get what I'm saying. You get the picture. Now, another thing for me with that is I want to see what all the different types of colors look like, right? Are we going to see changes on just the glossy types of colors, or are we going to see an increase in depth on more of the matte colors and the satin colors along with the shiny glossy colors as well? Because I do have a lot of trucks that are kind of a more matte style look, like a matte color look, and I would like to see improvements in that area as well. But I'm sure that this update is going to be a total graphical overhaul because, as we've seen, there are many different areas that they're going to improve with this update. So I'm sure that improvements to the quality of each and every paint color is definitely going to be a big part of it. Now, I hope you didn't think that we were going to go all the way through this video without mentioning the Defender. Now, this is once again another really interesting rig, and I think it's going to be a very popular rig for a lot of people, depending on what your personal preference of rigs are. And I feel like Defenders are one of those vehicles that you either are like all about them and you love them, and it's like one of your favorite off-road vehicles of all time, or you're kind of like, yeah, they're cool, but they're not my thing. Now, really, either of those approaches are completely 100% understandable. I think a lot of people really do like those Defenders because a lot of people actually grew up seeing them driving around or seeing them off-road, or maybe they had one in the family growing up. And, you know, when you grow up with a vehicle or you grow up seeing a vehicle a lot, it definitely, like, carries along with you and it sticks with you really for the rest of your life in some cases if you had a close enough connection with that rig. Now, that's another one that I could see being a very popular trail rig. I'm not sure if we're going to be able to put monster suspension on that or not, but if we can, the short wheelbase is definitely going to make it extremely entertaining to do backflips with at a monster truck park. That is for dang sure. Now, circling back around to the topic of graphics, take a little bit of a closer look at this shot right here. Now, we actually got the chance to see another truck in this space in my previous Offroad Outlaws update coverage video, and once again, I really do like how they're making everything look a lot sleeker, a lot smoother, and a lot more streamlined. But not only that, it really does give you a much better space for kind of seeing the finer details of the vehicle. It's been cleaned up, it's less busy, and also with the improvement in graphical quality, I mean, really it just makes the vehicles more pleasing to look at as a whole. So whenever you make the vehicles more pleasing to look at, that really at the end of the day is just better for everybody. It's better for, you know, every single player of the game, no matter what vehicle you like, no matter what vehicles you're a fan of, everything is going to look better. Everything is going to look better and hopefully play better as well. Of course, that also depends on the device that you're using to play the game, but really, at the end of the day, I can only expect performance increases across the board when this update drops. The only time that I would be a little bit concerned about performance would maybe be if you're on like a very old device, which in that case, you might be running into performance issues already, and you might already be running the game on slightly lower graphical settings. But once again, I mean, there's not a ton that they can engineer for that. They can engineer a little bit here and there, but I don't necessarily think there's a ton they can engineer for that, but we can only hope for better performance across all devices once the update releases. Now, at this point in the video, I would love to hear from you guys down in the comments, and I would love for you to let me know what vehicles or singular vehicle, whether it's a single vehicle or multiple vehicles, that you are most looking forward to, and which ones are definitely going to be a sort of must-buy for you once the update drops, and which ones you're going to absolutely go crazy on in terms of customization. Now, I know for me, one of the biggest ones is going to be the Tundra. The Tundra, I'm probably going to have like 3 of them. I'm probably going to have a trail rig one, a Baja one, and a monster truck one. I really do love that truck, and that was one of the most unexpected trucks, in my opinion, to be showing up in this game. I mean, really, at the end of the day, I feel like if you were to look at a list of, like, what everybody was anticipating would be coming in the update, a Tundra would probably be pretty low on that list. Now, in terms of what people might have wanted, I'm sure there's a lot of people that would have wanted a Tundra, but in terms of, like, what people were thinking would be coming in the update, I feel like it wasn't necessarily something that everybody was like, oh yeah, there's definitely going to be a Tundra, and that was such a huge surprise for me to see. Now, also, that tow truck, that giant Ford tow truck, that is going to be wild. If we can build monster tow trucks now, that is going to absolutely change the game entirely. And if we can incorporate those in a functional way in multiplayer, oh my god, that pushes the game to a whole nother level entirely, especially in terms of rescue and recovery. Because, I mean, when you're in multiplayer with your friends and you're going down a gnarly trail map, like for example the one we're on right now, you're going to run into some sketchy situations, and there may be some scenarios where you break your truck, you might not have a repair pack, and you can't really get back without some help. And that rig would definitely be a big help in terms of recovering really any broken or stranded trucks that you might find. Now, also, I just want to go ahead and let you guys know that Offroad Outlaws will be making a return to the stream schedule once the new update officially drops. That is our plan, and that is what we are going to do. And if you have any other thoughts or opinions, make sure to leave all of those in the comment section down below. That's going to do it for this video, guys. I hope you did enjoy, and make sure you click that subscribe button and turn those notifications on to stay as up to date as possible. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see y'all next time.